Our planet Earth is orbiting the sun at a speed of about 67,000 miles per hour. It rotates on its axis at about 1,000 miles per hour if you're standing at the equator, a little less elsewhere. The solar system is moving at about 200 kilometers per second, or about 448,000 miles per hour. Even at this speed, the solar system would take about 230 million years to travel all the way across the Milky Way. And, oh yes, the Milky Way is moving too. This galaxy is rushing towards the Andromeda Galaxy at about 70 miles per second. You just kind of feel the movement, right? So brace for a collision with the Andromeda Galaxy in about, 4 billion years. You know, I love science. I grew up loving science and reading a lot about science. I don't know why I didn't become a scientist. Probably because I wanted to be a disc jockey and a drummer. And if you look at the science of planetary and cosmic movement, you're really looking at time. And I started pondering all this morning when I woke up with a song in my head by the Rolling Stones called Time Waits for No One. So how do you spend your time? And when it comes to science, how do you fashion your beliefs? And let's go a little beyond that. This will be fun. Hey, this is Tim Patterson, Trade Show Guy. I'm back from a week vacation in the Monterey Bay area of California. Spent some time at the golf course at Pacific Grove. That's like the poor man's Pebble Beach for golfing. Spent a day at the Sonoma Racetrack and a day at Pebble Beach for the Concours d'Elegance. Loads of fun, and I really look forward to doing it again next year because that's what I do every year. A friend of mine and I go down and just do that. So did you get a vacation this summer? I hope you did, or maybe you got one coming up. Be sure to check out my blog at TradeshowGuyBlog.com. It has been noted as one of the top 10 trade show industry blogs by many entities over the last couple of years in the industry. Check out our company website at TradeshowGuyExhibits.com. You can find both of my books, Trade Show Success and Trade Show Superheroes in Exhibiting Zombies, on Amazon. Pick up a free digital copy of this book at TradeshowSuccessBook.com and find out more about this book, my second book, at TradeshowSuperheroes.com. So, you know, they each get their own website, right? That's what you got to do these days. It's Labor Day here in the U.S. of A., and on Labor Day, what better day to ponder science and time? After all, it's a day off, right? You know, I find it fascinating and a little bit scary that so many people you read about in the news don't believe much in science, even though they couldn't live without the physical properties of science and the way things work. Probably because they don't understand it and study it, and I get that. I don't understand a lot of it. I'm not a scientist. But I believe in the scientists who share their findings with the world. And there are a lot of people who are giving science and scientists a hard time these days, it seems like. More so than in the past, it seems. We are all raised with a belief system, whatever that belief system, whether it's religious-based, political, scientific, or some mishmash of a lot of odds and ends, which is probably the case for most of us. We really have a hard time giving up those beliefs. We read things that we agree with and shy away from things that dispute our belief system. I think that's just very human. I think one of the hardest things to do is change a long-held belief that you believe to your core, no matter what it is. A few months ago, I read an article about how some childhood beliefs linger on into adulthood. It was kind of funny, like the woman who was a child thought that all cats were female, all dogs were male. She realized in her 20s that, gosh, that's not really the case. Or the person who believed in unicorns until she was in her 20s. There's a website I found called IusedToBelieve.com that's really kind of fun. Let me share a few things with you. Things people believed as kids. For instance, when I was younger, I used to believe everyone was robots and that I was the only human. There were other humans, but I could not find them, and I needed to. As a kid. Here's another one. When I was a little girl, I used to think that the moon was following me. Okay. Here's another one. I think lightning and thunder is caused by angels throwing temper tantrums. Sure. One final one. When I was little, I used to believe that people on TV could see you from the other side, so I would always wait until a commercial to pick my nose. It's a fun site, what I believe. IusedToBelieve.com. That's the site. So ask yourself, what belief system do you subscribe to? Do you believe that your religion is the one and only? Do you believe that other religious people believe the same thing about their religion? Do you believe that your politics are correct and other politics are wrong, other political beliefs? That is not surprising, but so what makes you believe that? Have you ever pondered what makes you believe one thing and not another? I mean, does it come from culture? your family and friends, mostly your upbringing, the people you surround yourself with. Interesting things to think about. My dad was a minister when I was born for much of my young life. Yet when I was about 6, he stopped being a full-time minister and became the manager of a Presbyterian church camp. So we didn't see much of the ministering, as it were, on a weekly basis. And I left home at 18 and never looked back. And I'm sure my early beliefs are rooted in that upbringing. But I also believe and think that I've spent a lot of time as an adult challenging my beliefs. You know, our family, even though my dad was a minister and we went to church all the time, was a big believer in science. And my grandmother on my mom's side was one of the most open-minded people I knew as a young person. And she also came from a very religious family. Different days, different times. You know, she was born in like 1906 or something like that. So on Labor Day, as you take time off from work, take a little time to ponder. What is it about your belief system that you trust? And what are you not so sure about? It might be interesting personally to challenge a few of your beliefs along the way. So just for fun for Labor's Day, that's my show today. Enough philosophizing. Let's jump into this week's Trade Show Tip. It comes from Trade Show Superheroes and Exhibiting Zombies. 10 things to look for in a competitor's trade show booth. All right? You're busy at the trade show, you're working the booth, and you need to take a break. So what do? Do you go get some food? Do you go get a drink, a cup of coffee? Or do you look at what other people's booths are doing and those people that are your competitors especially? So let's take a look. 10 things to look for. Number 1, new products or services. Look at what they're launching. What is there that wasn't there last year? What is not in the booth and what was there last year? Number 2, size of the booth. Did they increase or decrease the size of their booth? What else changed? Lead generation. Can you get a good sense of what their lead generation and capture methods are? Maybe you can compare it to what you're using. Look at the people. Who's there? Do they have management along with booth staffers, and how many? Just curious. Number 5, preparation and engagement. Does the booth staff act prepared and trained? Do they greet visitors properly, or do they sit in the back behind a table and wait for eye contact? Really counts a lot. Number 6, exhibit function. Is there easy access to their booth, or do they have tables or other items blocking the path? Does it look cluttered or clean? Is there a significant meeting place? Number 7, brand messaging. Does their brand message look consistent throughout, or does it leave you wondering what they're really trying to pitch or sell? Number 8, visitors. Are they getting a lot of visitors? Do you recognize any visitors as targets that you'd like to connect with? Have those people been to your booth? Number 9, giveaways. Do they have giveaways? If so, what are they handing out? And is there any conversation that goes on prior to the visitor grabbing the freebie or getting it handed to him? And number 10, presentations. Are they giving presentations in the booth? If so, is it a hired professional presenter, or is it some member of management? If you can't tell, might as well ask. So interesting things to look when you're doing a little spy versus spy competitive research. You can do it out in the open at virtually any trade show. See what your competitors are doing. All right, one good thing. I was gone for a week. I had no access to my drum set and my guitar. My guitars, I got more than one. So I got home and I spent an hour or two playing music. So I'm going to say playing music with drums and guitars. That's my thing. That's my one good thing that I'm noting this week on the Trade Show Guy Monday Morning Coffee. So glad you could join us. If you like the show, spread the word. Tell other people. Go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review or leave a rating. Would love to do that. Or just subscribe. You can do that on TradeshowGuyblog.com. So have yourself a great week and see you next time.